Hi guys! I know it's been a while. Welcome to December and welcome to my channel for those of you who are new. My name is Ria and today I'm going to be doing a review, a demo, and I'm going to show you comparison swatches at the end of the brand new Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This is what the bottle looks like. This is what the outer packaging looks like. So if you'd like to hear my thoughts on this foundation, watch me apply it to my face and show you some comparison swatches just for shade reference, then please keep on watching. So I'm going to do this video a little bit differently. I have already had this foundation on my face for around 7 hours now, so I want to show you what it looks like after 7 hours of wear. So this is kind of like, I'm pretty zoomed in right now, so you can see that my skin looks pretty much the same as it did when I first applied the foundation. Put it on around 1 o'clock this morning, and now I think it's around 7:30, 8 o'clock, so it's been on for quite a number of hours. I did also wear this foundation yesterday, and I wore it for a full 12 and a half hours, so I can attest to the fact that this foundation looks beautiful. I would say around the 8 or 9 hour mark, the foundation started to break up a little bit in this area, and it also settled into my smile lines right there. So this is what the outer packaging comes in. This is just a cardboard box and it has that like matte finish. The actual foundation bottle itself is really beautiful. It is true to Nars's aesthetic, which is just like a sleek package. The bottle top, like the cap, it's a matte finish, but it still has a little bit of a shine to it, if you can tell right here. The bottle is long and sleek, so if you compare it to something like the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation, which is by far my favorite foundation ever, you can see that it's longer and skinnier. So that's just for a comparison. The bottle itself, unlike the Nars one, it's not translucent. It's kind of like a shiny glass, and yeah, I think it's beautiful. I think it's very Nars, and I really like it. The foundation also comes with a pump, so it makes it a lot easier to apply. And the foundation itself, it has 1 ounce, which is just a standard amount of foundation. So right off the bat, I absolutely love this foundation. I wore it yesterday for a full 12 and a half hours. So I put it on around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I had it on all the way until 9:30 yesterday, and it wore really beautifully. I think that the area around my mouth, so like right here, I did find that the foundation did settle into my smile lines a little bit towards, I would say maybe like the 7 hour mark. And I did also find a little bit of breaking up down here, but nothing noticeable. Like I could really only notice it if I really got in close, like literally got in like this close to a mirror to be able to see it. But if you looked at it from, you know, a fair distance, like a talking distance, you wouldn't be able to tell. The cheek products applied beautifully over top, and although they did have a little bit of fading towards the end of the day, I did feel like it looked really beautiful, and it's something that I definitely could have worn longer if I chose to do so. So some of the claims of this foundation are that it's supposed to be a very long wearing foundation. It's supposed to have a natural coverage, but also feel very lightweight on the skin. I do feel like it is long wearing. I would say it probably looks flawless for maybe 8 to 9 hours, after which it starts to break up a little bit in this region for me. The rest of the face, however, looked practically the same. The foundation is definitely lightweight, and it definitely has a natural finish to it. It's interesting because when you put on this foundation, you'll notice that your skin looks almost like blurred. It has this like blurry effect on the skin, which I think is really beautiful. It almost looks like you have a filter over your face, which I've never experienced. Like out of all the foundations I've ever tried, I've never had a foundation do that to my skin. So I definitely thought it was very interesting, and I really liked how it looked. And it's also supposed to make your skin look smooth and improve the actual look of your skin over time. Obviously, I can't tell you if it does that because I have only had this foundation for 2 days and I've only tried it out for 2 days. So although I've worn it for a full 12 plus hours, I don't feel like I could tell you that I saw any type of improvement in my actual skin from wearing it. So as you can see, like I mentioned, I have had this foundation on since 1 o'clock, and now it's around 7:30 or 8. I'm pretty sure it's 7:30. Yeah, it's 7:30 right now. So So I've had it on for several hours and I think it looks absolutely beautiful. Like, I'm zoomed in pretty close and I think the skin just looks stunning. I've always been a huge fan of Nars foundations, as you guys know. I used to really like the Nars Sheer Glow. It's still one of my favorite foundations. I just don't have it in my collection anymore because I just haven't gotten around to repurchasing it. And the Nars All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation is by far my favorite foundation ever. So I knew I was going to like this Nars foundation. I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I did though. So next I'm going to go into the demo portion of this video, and then I'll show you guys comparison swatches, and then I'm going to come back and close out this video. One thing that I wanted to mention to you guys is that I actually shot this video kind of backwards. So the earlier portion of the clip where I introed the product and I showed you what it looked like after several hours of wear was shot before this. So now I'm actually going to show you what it looks like when you actually apply the product to your face. So I did that in order to find out if I actually really like the foundation. And the earlier portion of the video, I used the foundation with just the First Aid Beauty Coconut Skin Smoothie Priming Moisturizer, which is my favorite moisturizer. And I did notice that it was a little bit drier than the previous day when I actually used the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer in addition to this. So if you have dry skin, I would definitely suggest using a hydrating primer. And even if you don't have dry skin, like I don't have dry skin, I have pretty normal skin. And yesterday my skin was actually pretty much perfect. It didn't have any dry areas or oily areas or anything like that. And when I used the foundation with the primer, it went on beautifully. But when I used it today with just this and no primer, it didn't look that great. It looked good, but I would say it definitely looked a lot better when my skin was much more hydrated. So that's definitely one thing I would like to say. And one thing I would warn against, if you have dry skin, this may not be the foundation for you. So basically, this is how much product I use. I use 4 pumps for a pretty much full coverage look. So this much right here. And these Nars pumps are really, really tiny. For a medium coverage, which is what I did yesterday, I used about 3 pumps. So this is pretty much all I need. I don't usually go for heavy coverage or anything like that. And this shade for me is pretty good. It is a little bit darker than my skin right now. I would say the color is comparable to the All Day Luminous Weightless Foundation in the shade Stromboli. I picked up the shade Stromboli because that's just what I'm used to. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend this in with a beauty blender because I already know this works and I love it like this. One thing I will say about this foundation is that the formula of it is not runny. Like you saw, it doesn't run down my hand or anything like that. It actually feels kind of moussey to me, and you do have to work pretty quickly with this foundation. I did find that if I let it sit on the skin for too long, it would be very hard to blend out. So I would say that you need to work pretty quickly. Not as quickly as the Fenty foundation, but definitely gotta work quick because it sets pretty quick. Another thing I want to mention about the foundation is that it comes in 33 shades, which is amazing. I think that's so good that Nars does that. They do a lot of shades, and I love their foundations because their foundations usually have a lot of yellow in them, as you can see. And because of that, I'm able to find a shade that matches me perfectly. In the summertime, I usually use the All Day Luminous Weightless in Stromboli. And in the wintertime, I don't have it on hand, but in the wintertime, I usually use the Sheer Glow in Stromboli. And that Sheer Glow is actually a little bit lighter than both the new foundation, the Natural Radiant Longwear one, and the All Day Luminous. I would say these two are probably a pretty close color match, the All Day Luminous and the new Radiant Longwear one. So this is what it looks like with the beauty blender. I think it looks beautiful. And like I said, it has this like blurring effect on the skin. I don't know if you can see it. It definitely has a radiant finish when you first apply it, but I would set this foundation down because I do feel like it stays quite dewy, and I'm not sure what it would look like if I didn't set it and I went on with my powder products, but I imagine because it feels a little bit tacky, even like if you wait a good 2 to 3 minutes to let it set, I imagine it would get a little bit patchy on the skin when you go to apply your powder product. So I do set it very, very lightly, and I use the Charlotte Tilbury Airless, whatever that setting powder is called. I absolutely love it. So that's what the foundation looks like on my skin, and that's what my face looks like with no foundation. So you can definitely see a difference, and I don't know if you can see that blurring thing I was talking about, but I definitely can, and I think it's pretty cool. Okay, so now I'm gonna go onto this side and I'm gonna use a brush. I'm kind of nervous about this because I don't usually like foundations with a brush, and I especially don't like Nars foundations with a brush. Like, I don't like the All Day Luminous one with a brush at all. The only one I like with a brush is the Sure Glow. So this is gonna be very interesting. I'm gonna use the Marc Jacobs the Face 2 brush because all my other ones are dirty. So yeah, just gonna move this mirror over here. Okay. Yeah, I don't know, with a brush I feel like it's blending out nicely. It just, to me, looks a little bit cakey. Like, the coverage, I would say, is pretty comparable on both sides, but I feel like with the brush, it's looking a little bit heavy on the skin. But not bad. It definitely feels very weightless on the skin. Okay. So I see literally no difference between the brush side and the Beauty Blender side. Maybe the Beauty Blender side is just a little less full coverage compared to the brush side. And I feel like I'm just gonna go in with the Beauty Blender because I feel like the brush side is looking a little bit heavy for me. I'm just used to like very medium coverage foundations, so maybe it's not the foundation, maybe it's just me. But I like a more medium coverage look. I'm not a fan of full coverage. So there you have it. And like I said, once you set this down, it's not gonna look as radiant as it does, but I do actually really like the radiance factor of this foundation. So now that you've seen the demo and you've seen swatches of the foundation, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Just one thing I want to mention is this foundation isn't actually available yet. It's gonna be available on December 14th at Nars boutiques and Nars online, and then it's gonna be on Sephora's website on the 26th. So it hasn't actually released. The funny thing is, I signed up for, like, you know, on Sephora they have that email me option when they run out of products or it's sold out. So I saw that this foundation was coming soon and I just happened to click the email me. I never click it because I'm just like, oh, I'm gonna have to wait for so long. So for some reason, this foundation was in stock about a week ago, and I just ordered it right when I saw it in stock because I was really confused. On the website it did say it was going to be available on the 26th and on the 14th in Nars stores, so I was like really confused. So I ordered it. It took quite a while to come for Sephora. It usually only takes 3 days at the most. It took 6 days to come, and I received it in the mail 2 days ago. So I'm really happy that I had clicked that option because I don't think I would have gotten an opportunity to try out this foundation this early on if that hadn't happened to me. So I'm so grateful that I was able to try it out early for you guys. And I would suggest clicking that option if you do happen to get onto Sephora's website because you might be able to get it a little ahead of time. I did want to say that you should probably act quickly because I know that the day I ordered it, the next day I went back on to see if it was available officially and it wasn't. It said coming soon again. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please do leave it in the comment section down below. As of right now, I absolutely love this foundation and I don't think I'm going to be changing my mind on it. So this is going to be my official review on this foundation. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you in my next video. Bye!